He needed to be slapped in the back of the head with a flip-flop. I want to preface this video by saying this is not a spoiler-free video. I will be talking in depth about the series. So if you have not read the Delgado series, the Inferno series, and the Caselli series, then do not watch this video. Maybe watch it because I need to watch something. If you are thinking of reading the Delgado, Inferno, Caselli series, I definitely recommend it. 10 out of 10. In true mood reader form, I just finished what the fuck is the name of the series? The Delgado, Inferno, Caselli series, right? I just finished Heart of a Goon and I'm all caught up. Now, I know I'm a little late, but like I said, I'm a mood reader, so mind your business. So I need to press some tote bags. Here is the tote bag. Yeah. I have to press 26 of them. 26 of them. So while I do that, I figured, why not yap about this series? Let's get into it. So I have thoughts. Let's start with my favorite people in the series. Number one male in the series for me is Capone. Capone. I feel like nobody is touching Capone. Capone is so special. That man has 13,000 jobs and he's confident in everyone. What has he been? I think he's been a dentist. He's been a pilot. He was a cop. We love a multi-talented man. As a multifaceted, multi-talented Black woman, it just does something for me, right? Number two, I would say maybe Menace. Hear me out. So I know Menace is a little bit crazy, but I can understand his crazy. I feel like he gets a bad rap. He is looked at as the older brother who made all these decisions for his siblings and didn't care about their feelings. But if you know Menace, I feel like I know him, right? If you know him like I know him, you know that he did all these things with his siblings in mind, right? He cares about them. He loves them. And they might not have been able to appreciate it at the time because he was doing things. He was doing a lot. I get it. But anyway, he is definitely top two for me. And let me see. Third, I would say Qasim. So I was really hard on Qasim when I first met him because like my thing was like, we get it. We get it. Something traumatic happened. You lost two people that mean the world to you. But it just felt like it was just dragging for book after book after book and after book. And I'm like, okay, let somebody love you. Get some therapy. Figure it out a little bit. Like, it's a meme that Talia Cadet, my girl, uses. And it's like a guy slapping somebody on the back of the head with a slipper or with a flip-flop. I feel like Qasim needed that a lot. He needed to be slapped in the back of the head with a flip-flop. And he would have been all right. But because he didn't get that, we got books of him being sad, which... yeah, warranted. But yeah, he's number three. Number four, I would say it's probably Corleone. Corleone is so interesting to me. I love how he was added into the series. And then I just like the dynamic between him and his women. He felt different from all of the other characters to me. And probably coming at number five. Oh, I forgot about Big Goon. Yes. I technically have six dudes. Goon and Capone. But I really liked Goon. Goon just felt different as well from a lot of the other characters because for me, some of the characters started blending together and some of the men just felt like other versions of the other men. But Goon felt different. I really, really, really like Goon. He might be moved up the list. I might have did my ranking wrong, but just know that those are my top six. I like the males in the series more than I like the women, but that doesn't mean that I don't like the women in the series because I do. Capri, she may not have been my favorite character, but I do feel like she definitely went through a lot and she definitely deserved her happy ending and her happy moments. And I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon of saying like Capri was a homie hopper or she was, whatever, because she was just trying to figure things out. We make decisions and she was grown. She made the decisions. She came out of them and she got, what was intended for her. I like Stevie. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, Stevie is Menace's wife. And Stevie was the kind of ditzy one. Stevie is the artist, which I identify with because I'm an artist. Who else? Also, it's just like certain things about Stevie that I just was like, Yeah, yeah. She's definitely the most relatable to me, or the one that I connected with the most. I also like Zoya. I made a post the other day on Threads saying that I think that Zoya needs to be smacked in the back of the head with the flip flop too. But not for the reasons that y'all think. Not because she annoys me. No, I think that Zoya is a good character. I think that she is a woman that is traumatized by love and affection and different things. So I understand why she is the way that she is. But just like I feel about Qasim, a good slap in the head, it don't hurt nobody. Maybe a little bit, but like not in a bad way. Like it's going to just joggle her thoughts together so that she could act right. That's it. That's it. And with that being said, I liked how not Qasim, I like how Kwamir was patient and waited on her. Kwamir was there and kind of bided his time since what, college? And when it was his turn to step in and be what she needed, he slid into that role. And I thought that was a beautiful thing because he was that best friend that watched and, saw what she was going through and said, okay, I feel like she's the one for me. Even when it came to her going and kind of taking that moment where she needed to get away from everybody and figure out what it is that she wanted to do with her life, he told her, I'll be here when you get back. Do what you do, find peace in whatever way you do. But when you're ready, I'm right here. And we love that patience. We love that. And speaking of a patient man, Goon. Big Daddy Goon is rivaling for top spot with Big Cap, right? So I know I said that Capadonna is my main man, but Goon is right there with him. He was consistent. He was consistent. He was persistent. And he was the only one besides Capadonna that while they were doing a lot of thug shit and a lot of hood stuff, he was the only one besides Capadonna that sat behind them bars for a minute. And even while he was behind them bars, my boy was still applying big pressure. Big pressure. He was every time Zoya came to a meeting with he had his lawyer meetings. He was, hey, Miss Lawyer Lady. I love that Goon got his own book because while he wasn't a character that I might have been thinking about a lot throughout the series as I was going through the books, he was a character that I'm glad that even though he wasn't on my I must read about him list, once we did get into his book, I wasn't disappointed. I feel like everything that I didn't think I needed to know about him, I'm glad I did find out about him because yeah, he's a good guy. And I like how he came about Zoe, even like him constantly telling her, if you need reassurance, just tell me that and I'm gonna give you that. Excuse me? Excuse me, is that simple? Like he made it that easy. Like, and as a woman, yes. Yes, we do like reassurance sometimes. I just like how he constantly showed Zoya that like this how I'm coming about you. And I also like how he even put her in a place a few times because we know that Zoya was a difficult character. And I mean, because of her trauma and the things that she went through that couldn't allow her to love or accept love in the way that she deserved, he still put her in her place. There was a few times he had to tell her, watch your mouth. I get that you hurt and I get that your brother did this and he treated you like this, but I'm not that. And you may be hurt and slick at the mouth, but you ain't going to keep talking to me crazy. But he's not an abusive guy or anything like that. He was just like, you're not going to keep talking to me crazy and I'm not going to stick around and I'm not just going to deal with whatever you got to dish out just because you dishing it out. And yeah, I feel that because what people like to say, they love to quote Jill Scott. What she say? If you could tell me what to do, then you can tell me what to do, or something like that. Something like that. Whatever. Look it up. His energy was like that. It's just like, okay, I'll shut up. I'll hush, Gerald. But when you leave, I'm gonna be talking again. But while you're here, I'm gonna act right. Everything about this Delgado Inferno Caselli series is found family. From the connection between the Delgados and the Infernos and the Casellis and all of that. It's literally a family that they created. So they are, well, most of them in this series come from a family. Like obviously the Delgados are a big family themselves. The Casellis come from a kind of broken family with them losing their parents at a young age. The Vanducci Cromwells, the people. I do not come from a close-knit family. So reading about close-knit families and reading about families that are not necessarily blood, but their family, like it really does something to me and just warms my heart because I want that, you know? But enough about me. One of my other things that I love about this series is Capone, Capadonna, all of them, they love a good forehead kiss. So the way that the men show affection in this series is beautiful because these are thugs. Some of these are hardened criminals. These are men that are in the streets. But when it comes to their brother, when it comes to their friend, a forehead kiss is gonna be had. These men are not afraid to show their feelings. Now, granted, they may not be showing it to other men that's outside of their circle, but these men show up and show out for each other. And the way that they love their women is unmatched. The women in this series are just as unhinged as these men. So yeah, you think that the men gonna pull out that thing and do what they do? Don't you worry. Aaron is right behind. Capri is right behind. Blair even be right behind. Chaotic moments that are worth mentioning. One of the moments that I found chaotic but also funny, when Blair and Qasim were going through their back and forth, he called in a bomb threat to the restaurant that she was in with, I think she was with Zay. He called in a bomb threat. And sir, what the hell? Like, I was cracking up because why would you do that? But that's how most of the men in that series came about their women. And yeah, it does read a little possessive. And in real life, sir, stay the fuck away from me. You know, I would not like that pressure in real life, but in the book, give it here. And not only did he call in a bomb threat while she was out with Zay, she came home and he was in her room knitting. So why are we knitting? Who taught you how to knit? Like, what's going on here? Let me just scooch on over here and show y'all my little shirt I made. You know, it looks like it's a sticker, but she's not. It's actually the design for my shirt. You know, hello, my name is OG, and I'm addicted to and I'm addicted to buying books by Black authors. I never said that I was good at reading, okay? I said I do read. And if you're looking at my hair, if you've been looking at my hair this whole video and judging me, judge a mother. I need my hair done, I know, so I look a little rough, but that's no reason for me not to record a video because, you know, the content must be made. Oh, okay. With Blair and Qasim, right? So remember he had a little situation with Berkeley. And then he started getting serious about Blair, right? So I remember when Blair finally pulled up on Qasim while he was with Berkeley. And one of the funny things to me was the fact that throughout Blair knowing about Berkeley, she had 3 million names for Berkeley. She called her Barky, Badmon Forward, Barky, Bernie Mac, Birkin, Bento Box, Bingle Bop, Bernie Madoff, Benny Hanna. And then she got Qasim on her BS too. And Qasim called Berkeley Bahamas. You know, rest in peace, Berkeley. You know, you didn't deserve what happened to you, girl. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. That was funny to me. I wrote down every name that Blair called her because I was literally dying laughing every time she called her something new. How you quick on your feet like that? And how Menace forced Beans to be Don's best friend. Because what? You kill his best friend and then force some other man to be his best friend. And guess what? He actually becomes his best friend. You know, my thing is Menace knows best. They may dislike my boy for the decisions that he makes. He makes these decisions for the betterment of them. He don't mean no harm. He just thinks about things that you don't think about, and that's not his fault that you don't think about these things. Don't worry, Menace. I love you. If nobody else does, I do. Well, besides Stevie, but I do. One thing I will say is, for me, as we got deeper into the series, some of the male characters started to feel like male characters that we already met in the series. For example, I feel like Don is just Menace. He feels like exactly like his brother, and maybe some of the other men balled up into one. So I feel like I didn't need a book about Don because I didn't find him as interesting as the male characters, as any of the other male characters in general. But again, I said that's what I feel. So remember that this video is not a how we feel. So if you loved Don's character, I love that for you. But as for me and my brain, I wasn't feeling Big Don. I wasn't feeling him. You know, well, not that I wasn't feeling him. I feel like he was a good character. I like how he loved Navy. And I will also say how I mentioned earlier that I relate a lot to Stevie. I also relate a lot to Navy as well. And I empathize for Navy, and I do like how Jahquel gave Navy that space to be a young woman that didn't want to be a mother, because that's not everybody's reality. While I am a woman that does want to be a mother, I can still see and understand parts of Navy, because not everybody is meant to take the same path. Not everybody wants the same thing. And I do love that her character wasn't written in a way that anybody shamed her for not wanting the norm. I think that that was beautifully written. And I've said it before about like Kennedy Ryan. I love authors that take the time and space to write about like everyday characters. Like, obviously, we know that people fall in love every day. We know that people go through things, but I feel like Jahquel and Kennedy Ryan, like as I mentioned, do a great job in addressing certain things, like the fact that she didn't want to have kids, or like the fact that Menace suffers from ADHD or has ADHD and OCD, or the fact that Zoe was going through depression. What else do we have? We had, let me look at windows. Skylar has bipolar 1. Aaron has alopecia. Havoc is deaf. I feel like all that representation is really, really cool to read in a book, because it shows that just like in real life, nobody is perfect. And granted, they're perfect the way they are. Their disabilities or their conditions don't make them any less, but it does make for very relatable characters. And I love that. I think that's one of my favorite things about this series, outside of the unhinged, the shoot 'em up, the every time we get on a highway, there's a shootout. I like that. You know, I love a good shoot 'em up, bang, bang. And I love a good biker. You know, a black biker. And they wear grills. Come on now. Who doesn't like a black man with grills? I do. Personally, me. This is one of those series where there's 3 million characters, and someone like me, I take notes when I read. I feel like I read like a book report. I'm writing down, who is this? Where do we meet them at? Oh, we saw them in this book. Okay, let me write that down. Oh, they look like this. They talk like that. I'm writing that down. So I feel like this is definitely one of those series. If you are a person that forgets things like me, get you a notes app. I use the app called Bear. So get you an app like that. Use your reading journal, whatever you need to do. But I definitely take notes, and I was writing down every time we encountered a new character, because one thing about Miss Jahquel J, she's going to introduce you to a new character. And then she's going to go back into a previous book and grab that character, and then she's going to mention them in the previous book, in this new book. But one thing that I will say that she has done in like the books later in the series, if there's a character that was mentioned in one of the other books, she will say it. And I appreciate that, because then I was able to go back to my notes and like, you're right. I did write down that we met that character in that book. So yeah, thank you, girl. Thank you, girl. What I look forward to as we either progress in this series or Jahquel decides to end it, either way is good with me, because I feel like she did her thing with this series. But one of the things that I look forward to is reading more about or learning more about Corleone. I still feel like there's more to learn about him. I definitely am looking forward to seeing Goon again and finally finding out who is the real Red Hook killer. I feel like I've been talking for 30 days and 30 nights. Those are my thoughts about the series. Like I said before, 10 out of 10 series. If you don't like it, really don't care to know, you know. But as far as me, I loved the series and I would definitely recommend it to anybody that likes urban fiction. If you are not an urban fiction girly, again, I don't care. I don't care. There's no need to tell me in the comments that, you know, that book was too this or that, or I don't really like aggressive books. I don't really like the drugs and the shooting and the I don't care. I don't care. I liked it, so I read it. And I'm coming to tell you that if you like those type of things, read the books. If you don't like those type of things, don't read the books, okay? It's so simple. It's so simple. I say this about a lot of books, I do. But I would like to see this series as a actual series or movie. I see some of y'all castings and I see the AI things that y'all keep doing and I want y'all to stop. I want y'all to stop. The AI thing, I be like scrolling on TikTok and I see Kwasim and Kwamir, or I see Kwamir and Capri and their babies, and like Kwamir be having like 3 arms, and it's very, very frightening. Very frightening. I would love for y'all to stop that. You may or may not see these finished tote bags on YouTube. You know, I know where you can see them though. If you are going to Black Romance 2026, you can see them there. You can also see them on my website at some point. So, you know, head on over there, you know. A lot of effort and brain power and ADHD brain power went into making this video. I tried my best, okay? I gave you all of me, and I would like a little piece of you to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell your friends about my videos. I would appreciate that. Love you real bad. Bye.